Welcome. It is the 22nd of March 2021. I was going to say 20. It's 22nd of March 2021. And today it's number 17 in the Dogs of Influence. And today we have a dog whose Dogs of Influence name is Yin Yang for a very special reason. And I'm going to go straight over it. Actually, let's go and have a look. It's actually, his name is Scout. And Scout is a it's a wire-haired Dachshund. And if you can see, here we are, look, in the background there, you can just see the Kelpies, who, which are a famous kind of sculpture thing by the canal, I think, in, oh, it's just gone out, straight out of my, it's just gone straight out of my head. The place they are in Scotland. Anyway, so he's a Scottish wire-haired Dachshund. And Yin Yang, thanks to his hypervisual senses, due to his yin-yang eyeball. Look at that eyeball over here. There we are, look. Can you see? He's got this white patch. And over here, you can see it really well here. It makes his eyeball look like a kind of a yin-yang symbol, you know, that you get in the flag of Korea. I'm sure Karina will have been telling me where they are. Falkirk! Thank you, Karina. I was just about to say it. Yin Yang, thanks to his hypervisual senses, due to his yin yang eyeball, has the instant ability to see the difference between the good and the bad, the nice and the nasty, between something delicious and a dog's dinner, not to mention the salt and vinegar or cheese and onion crisps. And if you are in the States and probably the rest of the world, when I say crisps, you probably mean chips. They're the kind of flat ones that you get in a packet, whereas we call chips the chunky things that you get from the fish and chip shop. Not to be confused with French fries, which are the long, thin, stringy things you get at McDonald's. It's a difficult world, isn't it? I'm sure that Scout doesn't mind which kind of chip, crisp, whatever. He just eats the lot. Anyway, as he sees life from street level, he has a different down-to-earth perspective on life, making him very chilled and able to create a calming atmosphere wherever he goes, unless he's fallen into deep snow, in which case there's a panic until he's been dug out. You don't want little legs, do you? In deep snow, you want to be able to just get out. So yeah, there have to be advantages and disadvantages to being so close to the ground. I mean, you do get that ground level view of the world, which I think will make Scout Yin Yang kind of very discerning. I think we need that kind of discerning kind of look. But before I go and start drawing, I'll come and have a look and see who's on the chat here. Hello, Crispin. Hola. Karen. Hi there. Octavia. Hello. Tammy Crebiel says, hey. Gabriel. Hello. Hope everyone is well. Judy. Hi, everyone. Trails. Hi, Shoo. I got your book. Excellent. Excellent. Reading it now. Good. I hope you are enjoying it. What book you are thinking if you've not been here before. Irina Magea. Hello all. Stacey says happy Monday. Tammy Cripple. Hey. Judy says it's a cracking tale, isn't it? Judy's been reading it too. They've both got advanced copies. Ooh. Tammy says, I used to watch your videos. Well, thank you. And you're back again watching them again now. Trails, big shit art. Totally good. Thank you. You're enjoying it. Garina says, Falkirk, exactly. Trails DM, art, illustrations. This is one thing, but a storyline is another. Great combo. Green says, the Kelpies are in Falkirk. Scout's art is fantastic, says Gabriel. It is, isn't it? It's amazing. It's amazing. So let's go over to the overhead camera. Where I've been doing a little bit of sort of sketching and planning and thinking. And what book are you thinking? It's this book here, Walker, The Mystery of the Missing Millions. This is the reason why I'm doing these dog videos this week. The last 2 weeks I've been doing. This is the last week. 3 more dogs. And a special one on Thursday. which is publication day. So this book is going to be published on Thursday, and it's the second book in my Walker, the Boy Who Can Talk to Dogs series, and so I thought I would do all these dogs just to kind of celebrate dogs and things, whatever. So people have been sending me pictures of their dogs, explaining why they might be dogs of influence on the internet and social media. Because I am currently sort of planning and plotting the possible third book. it depends on all sorts of things, whether it actually ever gets published or not. And so I'm thinking about the third book, and I've got the plot. And in it, I need a bunch of dogs that are social media influencers, because there are dogs out there that have millions of followers on social media, and I imagine they sell lots of dog food and sort of fancy, sparkly collars and all that kind of stuff. And so that's what I needed. So that's what I've been drawing. I've been drawing lots of them this week. And if you click up here somewhere, you will find. I've got a whole playlist of all the dogs of influence that I've drawn. You can go and have a look at all of them. So this is Scout. So I'm going to haven't written that there. Scout, who's also got Yin Yang. Should be an at Yin Yang, shouldn't it? And I'm trying to get this sort of kind of he's down there at ground level, and he's kind of summing it all up and thinking about it. So he's kind of happy, but he's got to be kind of thinking about it. And so I think this is kind of there. He's just not. He's a little bit cynical, I think. Maybe not cynical quite. It's somewhere between cynical and discerning. I'm not quite sure what that would be. So I'm going to start off like I often do with a circle, which is how I imagine the brain box and where that's going to be. And I'll put a line across for where the eyes are going to go. And I wanted to have a nice big eye there, because that's kind of a big thing, is this it's this kind of yin yang thing that's going to be sort of going like that. And then they have a slightly kind of curved down nose, Dachshunds, like that. I've been having terrible trouble the last couple of days trying to spell Dachshund. It's Dachshund. It's not right, but and then trying to say Dachshund in a Scottish accent. Hey, Dachshund. No. So we need to have this kind of line here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw. It's not a circle; it's more of an ellipse, and then that can sort of come around like that, and then we're going to have the other eye there, so he's looking at us, and we want this kind of curve going up, sort of like that. And this is where it gets tricky. I don't want it to look angry. So then maybe I'm just going to put a little bit of a line there just to make it a kind of a hint of a smile in the eye. And then we're going to bring that out sort of like that and like that. And then we want these kind of lines like that. And these lines are sort of coming up there, but then we want, it's like a mask. Kind of like a mask. Actually, I can make that line there into this kind of mask that is sort of going around there. That will come up there a bit. And then we want these ears, which will be coming pretty much straight down and sort of curved that way. And then here we need to have this kind of S shape like that. And I'm thinking that these whiskers at the front are very much like sort of Kaiser Wilhelm. But I'm wondering if I can just get a little hint of a smile in there. I don't know. I'm just going to raise that. So maybe just a little kind of a kind of thing going on in there. So like great big kind of First World War Kaiser Wilhelm kind of moustache. And then we want a very long body, don't we, with the tail sticking out there. And sort of the collar will be about there. And these little legs, very short legs they have. So I mean, it's all about, what does dash mean? It's going to be something like a rabbit or something, because they're really designed for going down holes. Rat, maybe rat hound or something. I think it's not. I think I can take that down that a little bit more, so it's a bit sort of skinnier, because he's not. Don't want him looking overweight. And then that's going to come kind of down like that. And this is so furry, so wiry, you're not really going to see any feet, which is great, isn't it? We don't have to draw that. So I'm going to get some layout paper. And again, I tell you every day, this is Seawhite of Brighton layout paper. It's 50 grams per square inch, which means it's really thin, which is really good for sort of tracing, really. And if you're thinking tracing is cheating, then get that out of your head. It's all about iterating. It's all about moving the design of the whole thing on. And so this is kind of doing the next version and kind of improving on it, so that I can then do another tracing in a minute. And I think that's going to want to go something like that. Yeah, and like that. And we'll have the eyeball there, and I think he's looking actually rather cross, isn't he? I think if I bring that down there a bit more, then that's not quite so cross. It's kind of tricky. So we kind of want furriness going up there and sort of then coming around like that, and then we'll have a bit of sort of, it's all sort of wiry hair. I'm just going to do the shapes here, so it's kind of wiry kind of hair that will want to be under there so that it's hidden. Oh, I think we could have a yin yang symbol on there, couldn't we? That would be perfect. It's amazing how you're going to get these things, like little ideas at the last minute, because I've been drawing him all day. And then suddenly I think, oh, of course, they should have a yin yang sign on this collar. And now this is where it's kind of tricky. So they want to go that way, like that, and then we want this kind of wiriness, and then that will again sort of come in as a little S curve. And it's sort of hinting at the paws there, and a little bit of a curve. Yeah, I think I'm quite pleased with that. I sort of got it much better than I have before. And then we'll have all those other things. So then I can find my light pad, and I can stick him on there, and then I can get a piece of watercolor paper, making sure I've got the right side, and stick that over the top. And you can't really see that too well now, so I'll just take that down. And yeah, so this is now Seawhite watercolor paper that I'm using, which is 350 grams, so it's really heavyweight. It's really good. I'll turn that light off. So there are links for all those materials that I'm using down below from Amazon, and if you choose to order from there, I will get an affiliate fee, but you will not pay any extra, so you will be helping to keep this channel going. So now I am going to start inking in, and I really want this kind of wiriness. I've got to kind of do wiry style inking. Maybe I can make that a little less aggressive somehow. Don't want it to look too, I don't want it looking angry. That's the thing, that's the difficult thing. And I wonder if I can, let's see what happens with this eye then if I do that now. I'm going to put in the eyeball, which is, it's like a circle with a little chunk taken out, and if I do that, that's going to sort of help a bit. And then we're going to want to have, let's do the nose. It's going to be something like that, and I'll just take that back a bit, that nose, like that, and then I want that sort of coming like that, coming up that way, and we're going to get another bit of it's making him look very cross. I'm going to have to really work on that idea of discernment rather than anger, suspicion. I think, you know, if you lived your life at street level, quite so close to the ground, I think maybe you begin, what's happening? What's going on? What's it all about? What's going on up there? And everybody will be discussing things above your head, and they'll be going, shall we go to the park? What was that? What did you say? Or shall we go to the cafe? Cafe? What? So yeah, I think it's probably quite tricky being being so low to the ground. There you go. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's quite good. That's kind of worked out, I think. And so this is all just little lines, isn't it? Little marks, and then we'll have that, and then it sort of goes like that, doesn't it? The yin yang sign, yeah. And then we want this kind of wiry back and tail, and again we want kind of wiriness coming down here, and then it's that kind of wiriness. So we can actually, you know, leave a lot of lines unconnected here, where you might normally be thinking, I've got to draw a straight line all the way around, and it's kind of more of a suggestion of the curves and the lines and things that are going on. And so while I'm doing this, if you've got questions and you think, what's going on here, and how do I do that, or what day is it, or anything like that, you need to know, to put them in the chat, and then I'll come and answer them in a while. But don't be scared to, you know, sort of ask questions, because I'm quite happy to answer them. And I'll just do like that. So a lot of this is going to get filled in with watercolour, basically, because that's going to be the next phase of the drawing. I'll take that off there, turn back on the lights, and there we go. He's definitely looking suspicious. Something's up, isn't it? Something's up. What's it all about? And so here I have my watercolour set. So this is the Cotman Pocket Winsor & Newton Pocket Sketches set, which is a great set to start with. And just a moment, I'll just go, and if you enjoy these shows and you'd like to buy me a cup of coffee to keep me going, head on over to patreon.com/Shoo Rayner, where you will find all the details of how you can support this channel. In the meantime, on with the show. indeed on with the show. And I mention that because this Saturday on Patreon, with my patrons, you don't really go on Patreon, I don't know. Anyway, with my patrons, we're building up a little community, really, of people who like to draw and sort of watercolour. But anyway, this Saturday, I'm having a Zoom tutorial in the morning, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. And we are going to do a Watercolour 101. So if you've never ever done watercolour before and you thought I'd really like to have a go at that, but I'm too scared, come and join us on Patreon. Look, there's links all over. Join me on Patreon because I have 99 patrons at the moment, and you can be my 100th patron. And in fact, I'll say my 100th patron, you can choose a video, and I will make a video especially for you. And then you can join us on Saturday. Everyone's very friendly, and we're going to go right from the start. This is a paint box. This is a brush. This is paper, and this is what we do. And so if you've never done watercolour, you really want to sort of just start right from scratch and sort of make yourself feel a bit happy about it, come and join me on Patreon. And not just join me, come and join everybody else who's already on Patreon, and there's many of them in the chat at the moment who will probably say, yeah, do it. So I'm starting off here with, I'll just get my previous sort of crib sheet that I've done this morning over there. And I'm getting a bit of yellow ochre, and I'm going to add a bit of scarlet in here to get a kind of a pinky kind of orange. And I'm going to start here. So this is really quite thin in that it's mostly water, and that's how you kind of get a pale colour in watercolour. And as I've said many times, and I will no doubt say a million times again, the light in watercolour, the light comes from the paper. And so we're not putting paint on. Paint, like oil paint and acrylic, has the colour and the light and everything is in the paint. With watercolour, the light is in the paper and it shines through these very watery kind of thin glazes that we put over the top, like transparencies almost. And so I'm going to get this sort of pinkiness on the feet, like that. And then I'm going to get a bit of yellow in here, sort of. But again, I want this really, really thin. And so, and this is an Aquash water brush that I'm using here, the Pentel Aquash water brush. And the water is in the handle and it flows through the brush, so it does work slightly differently to a sort of traditional brush. Traditional brush keeps. I've run out of. I need some kitchen towel. Traditional brush will keep the same amount of colour all the way through, whereas this, as you're painting, the colour is getting thinner and thinner because the colour is being replaced by water flowing down through the barrel. So as you can see, it's getting thinner as I paint further away without adding more colour, which is just what I want, really. That is okay. That's what I want. So while I'm there now, then I'm going to get a bit more of that ochre, a bit more of the red, just to make that a bit more orangey. And here I'm going to start making that a bit more orangey, and sort of hints of fur in the brush strokes as well. So we want some bits around there and probably bits around. It's the thing about watercolor, is that you build it up, building up sort of layers, and it's like putting one transparency on top of another, and so each layer it will get sort of darker. But I'm using very, very pale colours at the moment, so it's going to take a lot to make it darker. So I'm thinking that I'm going to want something greyish. And to make grey, I'm going to get this burnt umber here and ultramarine blue. And I would normally use a colour called neutral tint, but It's not in this box, and I want to kind of show you what you can do with this box, because you can pretty much make everything up that you need. And I'm going to start just underneath the collar there. And I'm really using the side of the brush here to sort of do big brush strokes. And you can get different sort of, you can get very delicate, you know, sort of pinpoint brush strokes like that if you want, or you can put it on its side and sort of do big sweeping brush strokes, which will cover the area much more quickly. And then I'm going to hold it right at the end here, and then just kind of dib dab, and just it's a celebrity come dancing thing. Is it celebrity? It's not called celebrity come dancing. Celebrity dancing thing. Anyway, they're always doing fleckles, aren't they? And this kind of feels like I'm fleckling, but I think that's something to do with the spin, isn't it? If you spin your feet or something. And I'm going to do a little bit around here as well, I think, and sort of underneath. I'm just going to fleckle these little lines in here. And this is where I would probably actually feel more comfortable with a traditional brush, because it's flowing too freely. But it's a thing about, you know, when you, it's a really good thing to get a brush or something like that you really like, and the colours that you like, and just stick with them for a while, and just get to really know them, and, you know, master the materials. And because if you just keep flicking, think, oh, I'll try watercolor pencils this week, and next week, oh, I'll try acrylics, and next week I'll try oil paints, and, you know, you'll just always be trying, and rather than actually sort of learning to really get to grips and master one medium. And it depends what you want to do. If you want to be a painter, and then it's all about the paint, really, and how you're laying it on and everything, and it's a lot of that's about technique. But if you want to, I mean, I'm an illustrator, so really, as far as I'm concerned, it's the story that comes first. And for me, the important thing here is the eyes and the expression in the eyes. Whereas for a painter, it might be much more about, oh, the way I'm going to get, you know, a highlight on the nose and make it really shine. And for me, it's about character and getting that sort of look, and expressing the character and the sort of mood, the character of the dog and the mood of the moment and the mood of the dog, and that's sort of what's more important to me. So if you're a painter, then you're probably going to be constantly wanting to experiment with new techniques and stuff like that. Whereas if the most important thing to you is to tell the story, then stick with one medium, and really get to be good at that, and then you can put all your real effort into telling the story, which for me is the most important thing. We're getting there. I'm going to get my hairdryer out now and give this a blast. I can see Tomoe Ishinomori says it seems angry. Well, yes. I mean, I think if you're kind of down at that street level and people are treading on you and walking past you and kicking you and everything, you probably would be a little bit angry. But at the same time, he's got that kind of yin-yang kind of, it's right. He's cool. I am mixing up. I got some, this is Carmine, I think, alizarin carmine. I think alizarin crimson Carmine is a colour on its own, which is made out of crushed beetles. And I'm adding a little bit of that's ultramarine blue, that one, so that we get a kind of a purpley brown. And I'm going to sort of paint in these ears because they want to be a bit darker. And again, so I'm kind of working the strokes up to the top, so it's darker at the bottom, and then it'll be lighter up at the top. And I think we're going to want some in there as well, so it's going to accentuate the eyebrow. And we're going to want to have more in underneath here as well, I think. And in there, underneath the eyebrow. And we could probably have some of these sort of purpley kind of strokes. I think it probably needs to be a bit darker underneath there and under there. And we'll get a bit more orange in on the top there. I think we can have some sort of purpley strokes in here, but I'm going to add some more grey on the top of this. So this is just a kind of another kind of undercoat to give it a sort of scattered, bedazzled kind of undercoat, and then we'll add a bit more detail on the top. We could use some of that underneath here actually, just to add some more shade, and maybe just a little bit along the feet there where it's touching the ground. I'm going to get some blue. Now when I when I use so much blue for the greys, it gets quite dirty, my blue. So that looks all right, yeah. Good. And then I'll take a little bit more straight off the pan. These are called pans. So watercolour comes in either tubes or pans, and I generally use pans because this is just really easy to slip in your pocket and go out sketching with. But if you're going to do a really big painting, then you might want tubes, because it's just going to be you don't have to be doing all this brushing stuff. It's just all nice and soft already, whereas I'm having to do all this to soften it up a bit. So what I'm wanting is black, but we don't get black in this set because black is not good in watercolor. It just overpowers everything and kind of looks like there's a hole in the paper. So the dark umber and French ultramarine are really good when you mix them together, and you can go from a brown black to a blue black. You know, you have to keep sort of working at it. And so I'm going to do this nose like that. I'm just going to a little bit on the top there as well, like that. And then we've also got sort of dark lips like dogs do. Right. So I build up quite a relationship with a character when I'm sort of painting something like this, and then suddenly they look at me, and it's, you know, it's like it's not like they're alive, but they just suddenly look at me and go, So I am going to leave a little bit of white up at the top. So I'm using a kind of a ochre-y kind of colour here. And then here, I'm trying to think, we want to have this yin-yang kind of sign up at the top. That will work like that. So I'll bring this down to halfway. And then I'm going to get some, this is burnt sienna I'm going to put in on the top there, and a bit of burnt sienna at the bottom. And then I'm going to kind of whoosh them together like that, so that we get this white patch here. And then some burnt sienna I'm going to add in at the top, leaving that little bit of white for highlight like that. There we go. We're getting there. We're getting there. And I want a bit more red, a bit more orange, which I could mix with the yellow, which seems obvious, but I'm mixing it with ochre to make it more earthy, really, rather than sort of. I think if you mixed it with the yellow and the red, you'll get a more sort of chemical kind of orange. Whereas this will be a bit more earthy because you've got mixed with the ochre. We'll get that, maybe a bit more around there. And again on the toes, I think we need that kind of oranginess there. We are getting there. I'm just thinking about whether to have a kind of a red and white. I think what I might do is just have that very much just a sort of a pale grey colour, and then this will be more of a darker colour there. And then basically we want to do lots of dark grey, and it wants to be on the blue side, so I'm mixing that. That'll be okay, good. And I think it can be a bit stronger, so a bit more colour. There we want that to be quite dark under there, and then we can also add a few little sort of strokes into the fur, and maybe some in there as well. And now I think it's just a question of sort of bring the paint up here, then I can just do lots of wire hairs and make this sort of crazy hair pattern. And really, because I'm holding it right at the end here, so that kind of lets the brush do the work rather than me kind of right at the front where there I'll be making the brush strokes. Whereas if I hold it right at the end, then the brush does the work, and you can just let it get on with it and just sort of dib dab, and it'll, you know, in kind of a random kind of way, will create these brush strokes. But I also want a kind of a feeling of the fur sort of coming down that way. A bit down here too, I think, a bit more underneath there, maybe a bit more under there. And then I think I do need a little bit more. I'll put a bit of crimson in with that. I think we need a little bit more around the eye, just to accentuate that this is where it's all happening. I'm going to make that darker around there, and maybe a bit around there too. And a bit there, and then I'm going to thin that down a bit, and I'm just going to draw a little bit of shade over the top of that eyeball and over the top of that eyeball too. Finally, I'm going to put a little bit of shade on here to put yin yang on the ground, and then I'm just going to add some squeeze water out of the brush to just kind of swoosh that shade down to the ground like that. And then, if I do that and put it in the middle, then if I come over to this camera, you can't see a thing, can you? No, we need him over here, and I'll just let's zoom in a little bit on the face rather, because that's more interesting. And if I zoom in like that, so much rubbish on my desk, and the tape is sticking it, so it won't let me move it. There we go. Ta-da! What's that? 40 minutes. I'm surprised. Tomo, you can write everything in one sentence, okay? But thank you very much. Where are we now? You used to watch. Coming back to your what you have to say, Scout. So, Linda, hi. What a dog? What a dog going to enjoy this, etc. Tammy Kerbel said, now I need to start watching your videos. Your artist work is really good. I'm a really good artist and thinking about an art studio just like you. Excellent, good. The first video I did was watching the UK flag premiere. That was a very long time ago. Very long time. Christian Dry, Dachshund, badger dog. That's it. They're originally longer legged and used to hunt back badgers, digging them out from their tunnels. They need to be short to go in the tunnels, don't they? Yeah. Trails says Scotty dogs. Looks like a Scotty dog. Old men. Scotty dogs do look like old men, don't they? Sometimes. And they're kind of, what, I shouldn't say this, but there's two old guys live round the corner and they kind of meet up to do because we're in COVID and stuff at the moment, so they meet up to go and sort of walk together, socially distanced, and they both have sort of Westies or something, Highland Terriers or something like that, and they just amble along. Old guys, old dogs. Trails, Billy Cole was a bit of a prime example. Tammy, can you please draw a kangaroo? Please? I have drawn a kangaroo, so if you put my name in, Shoo Rayner, kangaroo, you'll find it. Tamari Mori, ha, nice dog, ha. Irina, what do we need for the watercolour class? Something special or normal watercolour tools? What I should do is put a list of everything you need. So you're going to need, if you haven't got a set of watercolours, then you're going to need a set. This is a great one. You just got time probably to go on from Amazon if you want to. And a brush. Oh, look what I've just done. Oh, quick. Get that dabbed off. There we go. I just flicked brown paint out of my paint box. So yeah, and paper. Strongish paper. We'll go through all of that, and I imagine there'll be lots of mistakes and things with. Oh, that's weird. Yes, I'm looking at this on the screen, and it's like 10 seconds ago, and I'm dabbing the paint off. There we are. What do we need for the watercolor? Yeah. So I will. Oh, just so busy. I'll remember to put a link up for the tutorials and kind of everything that you're going to need. Linda Mayer. It's my mum's birthday today. Can you wish her birthday wishes? She'll be pleased. Happy birthday, Margaret. You have to be careful how you sing this, actually, because I think somebody still claims copyright. Happy birthday, Margaret. Happy birthday, Margaret. Have to do a different tune, you see, because YouTube will recognise it. And of course, everybody else who's watching is singing along. You know the Happy Birthday, Margaret. Hope you're having a really great day. Having a birthday in lockdown is a drag, isn't it? I hope you made a nice cake for her, Linda. Anyway, Tomo Ishinomori. Sounds Japanese, doesn't it? Asks, you can't speak Spanish? Question mark. No. Me habla no español. Relaja scrap. Oh, my dog Annie. Fantastic. Trails. I have schmink watercolor. Absolutely. That's it. They're all good. They're all good. Gabriel says a Dachshund would look somewhat humorous in stick figure form. I'll have to try that out. Where in the world do the shoulders go? It all works exactly the same, but it's just, very short. Thomas says it seems angry, but nice dog. Some blah 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 blah. Big show. Thomas, please don't keep typing just one word. It takes up all the chat. Okay, good. Thank you. Eva Adams, well done. Thank you, Irina. I found this one harder to draw. It is. This was actually hard. I've been sort of working at it all day. This one. Tomo, I shared the live with my friends, but they did not come. Oh, never mind. Maybe next time. Tell them how great it was and what they missed. Crispin Drive. Feliz cumpleaños. Oh, Margaret. Oh, that's Spanish. For happy birthday, I presume. Yeah. Trails TM. You look. Oh, I can do it in Norwegian. Gratulerer med dagen, Margaret. Trails TM. You look good and sound tired too. Much rest is needed. I am absolutely shattered, actually. I've spent the whole weekend digging. I've been having to. I had a rainwater soak away, and it's just kind of all seized up. So I dug out about sort of almost 2 cubic meters of rubbish this weekend. Yes, I'm tired today. I am. But it had to be done, and needs to be done before the rain comes again. It kind of fills it all up. So I'm pretty well done. So, Karina, happy birthday to your mum, Linda. And so, I'm going to say we've got about a 10 to 15 second delay on the chat. So if you have any last questions, things you'd like to say, now is the time to say them. Because if you don't, I'll be pressing that button. Tomorrow I will be back again with another dog. And so that'll be Tuesday, another one on Wednesday, and then Thursday is publication day. And on publication day, I will be live. I think I put it down in the thing below, and if I haven't, then I will. In the comments box down below, I put the link to, it's publication day. I'm going to be launching the new book at the Big Dog Festival, which is run by the Wigtown Festival in Scotland. And normally I could have been up there in Scotland in Dumfries at the Big Dog Festival, but it's all online this year, I'm afraid. But that means that you can join in. So I will be doing it live 1:30 on Thursday, telling all about the book and doing a bit of a reading and stuff like that, and doing a drawing too, so you can join in. And then I'll come along again at 4 o'clock, Glutton for Punishment, and we will do the last dog of influence, which is going to be a special one. So, so do come along on Thursday. Here we are, Trails. Wow. Ishinomori says, I liked how the fur turned out. I'm quite pleased too, actually. Yeah. Karen McMillan, Seal tomorrow. Crispin Dry, leave a thumbs up for everybody. Absolutely. Make sure you give them a thumbs up. Make sure you got a like. TTFN, Trails. Thank you, Shoo. I'm going to continue reading the book now. Good. Gets a bit thrilling towards the end. Slasher X says, XZ says cool. And that's the end of the chat. So I'm going to reach out to press this button. I'm going to say thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Well, thank you so much for watching, and make sure you click that little subscribe button, and when you do, ring the bell so that you get notifications of when I am going to go live next. You can come along and join in and bring your ideas as well. In the meantime, stay safe, keep well, and keep drawing. Practice, 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 and I'll see you next time. You take care now. Bye-bye.